Hi everybody, we're going to begin this class with the explanations of so and such from file 3A. Okay, so here we have some examples. Look at these sentences. She's so interesting. This is such an interesting book. A new phone costs so much money these days. Traffic in the city center is such a nightmare. Okay. We use so and such to intensify adjectives, adverbs, and nouns. We use so with adjectives or adverbs to make them stronger. For example, the adjective hot. One thing if I say, it's so hot. It's hot today. It's hot today. But if I say, it's so hot today, we intensify it. She looks so young in that photo. He walks so slowly. It's so annoying. Okay? So we use so to intensify adjectives or adverbs to make them stronger. And we use such with an adjective plus a noun, okay? Or a noun alone. For example, you're such an angel. That's a noun alone. It's such a hot day today. Such a hot day. Adjective and noun. They're such lovely trousers. Trousers como en pantalones, okay? Where did you buy them? Okay? So this is the difference between so and such. Okay? Now we're going to do this. Just a few examples, okay? You're a great friend. You're so a great friend. You're such a great friend. You're such a great friend. Okay? He's good at math and he got a scholarship into university. He's so good at math because we have only the adjective. My dog is obedient that he never does anything wrong. My dog is so obedient or such obedient. Incorrect, such, so obedient. Okay. You are a good artist. Can I buy some of your paintings? So we have a good artist, adjective and noun. So you are such a good artist. And we can go on and on. I'm going to give you this exercise later on. Okay? And also here. Here, I'm also going to give you this test too. But now we're going to move on to page 25, exercise 3, mini grammar, so and such that. Okay? So you have, look at these two sentences from Air Babylon extract. It's a reading that we're going to do next class, or this class. The passenger is usually so embarrassed that he disappears as quickly as he can. When this happens, there is often such a strong smell of roasted bird that passengers on the plane think that chicken is being cooked. We often use so and such to express a consequence. For example, so and an adjective, the flight was so bumpy that we all felt sick. So plus an adverb, the taxi driver drove so quickly that we got to the airport on time. So much or so many plus the noun. There was so much traffic that we almost missed our flight. Such a or such an adjective and a single countable noun, for example, hotel. It was such a great hotel that we want to go back there next year. Such plus an adjective and uncountable noun. We had such terrible weather that we didn't really enjoy our vacation. And such plus the adjective plus a plural noun. They were such uncomfortable seats that I couldn't sleep at all. Now we have this exercise. Complete the sentences with so much, much or many, such or such a. Okay, I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes while you're going to pause the video, and then you're going to answer this, and then you put it play again to continue. I'm gonna show you the answers. So pause the video now, please. Okay, so we have now the answers of this exercise. It's just really, really fast. The flight was such long or so long. Remember that you're going to put so much long, such a long. We cannot say such a long, right? So long. I had such a noisy child sitting next to me that I couldn't sleep at all. My suitcase was so heavy. And there's the other one. You can pause the video if you need to check your answers, but I hope that everything is okay. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next grammar that I'm going to explain, and this is 3A, narrative tenses. So what are narrative tenses? When we're telling a story, we use narrative tenses. When we're saying something, when we're explaining what happened, okay? So, for example, we have this.
2.3. 1. We arrived at the airport and checked in. 2.
We were having dinner when the plane hit some turbulence.
At 9 o'clock, most people on the plane were reading or were trying to sleep. 3.
When we arrived at the airport, we suddenly realized that we had left one of the suitcases in the taxi.
4. We'd been flying for about 2 hours when suddenly the captain told us to fasten our seatbelts because we were flying into some very bad weather.
Okay, so we have here that we're using the simple past to talk about consecutive actions or situations in the past. For example, the main events in a story. That is number 1, okay? Number 1, number 1. Number 2, we use the past continuous to describe a longer continuous past action or situation that was in progress when another action happened. Okay, for example, this. We were having dinner when the plane hit some turbulence. Most people on the plane were reading or trying to sleep. Okay? For number 3, we're going to use the past perfect. We're going to use the past perfect to talk about an earlier past. In this case, things that happened before the main events. For example, number 3. When we arrived at the airport, we suddenly realized that we had left one of the suitcases in the taxi. This we had left happened before the arriving. Okay? And for number 4, we have the past perfect continuous to talk about longer continuous actions or situations that started before the main events happened. For example, you have there in number 4, we had been flying for about 2 hours when suddenly the captain told us to fasten our seatbelts. Okay, that was a longer continuous action in this case. All right. So we have now the difference between using the past perfect simple or the past perfect continuous. When do we use it? Let's listen to these 2 sentences and then we'll continue.
2.9. Lena was crying because she'd been reading a very sad book.
Yes.
Lena didn't want to see the movie because she'd already read the book.
Okay, Lena was crying because she had been reading. Well, the past perfect continuous that she had been reading emphasizes the continuation of an activity. Okay, in this case, she had been reading. She was continuing in the reading. Okay, and in the past perfect simple emphasizes the completion of the adjective. Linda didn't want to see the movie because she had already read the book. In this case, she had finished reading the book. All right. So now we're going to do exercise A, circle the correct verb form, and then I'm going to show you the answers. You're going to circle the correct form, okay? You can pause here the video. You can pause here the video, and then I'm going to show you the answers. Okay, so here are the answers. You can pause the video here so you check your answers. I hope everything is correct. And now we're going to do part B. In part B, you have put the verbs in parentheses. Put the verbs in parentheses in the past perfect simple, had done, for example, or continuous, had been doing with the verb, okay? Had learned or had been learning, had waited or had been waiting, had stolen or had been stealing, okay? So I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes. You can pause the video from 1 to 4. And then from 5 to 10, you can pause the video here again. Okay, now I'm going to show you the answers for this. You can pause the video here. Okay, now this is part of what we're going to do for Unit 3A, for File 3A. We're also going to see some vocabulary about air travel, but we're going to do this during the class, okay? Because we're going to do a listening exercise and some reading too. Okay, so see you next video. Bye-bye, guys.